Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So tonight I want to talk about year-end projections. This is always fun. A lot of people always ask me, hey, where is this going to be at the end of the year? Well, let's talk about Bitcoin. How high can it go by the end of this year? Interesting topic. If I say so myself. Well, thanks for tuning in. As always, smash the like, subscribe to the channel. If you guys are new, 2 streams every day, 11:30 and 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure you hit that notification bell and follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. All right, guys, let's do this. A lot to talk about. And I have my friend Johnny with me tonight. So me and Johnny, we're going to have a good old time discussing crypto. All right, let me change my screen. Okay, so Bitcoin is at 56,200, and some of you guys are getting antsy, asking why is Bitcoin not moving? Why does it seem like it can't ever move? Why is it just stagnant? And people are just, they're just impatient. Making money, despite the fact you could make a tremendous amount of money in a very, 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 very short amount of time with crypto. You know what? People are expecting more. People are expecting that they become millionaires overnight, or within a week, or within a month. So that's why I want to show you guys Bitcoin, where it's projected to go, and its current path, its current journey, is basically where it should be, exactly where it should be, exactly in line with what has happened in the past. And this is actually really, really good for the market. Really, really good. Right now, of course, altcoins are flying, right? So that's a side effect. While Bitcoin stalls, altcoins get all the attention, right? I know you guys know what I'm talking about. You're making, money hand over fist with altcoins right now. But Bitcoin will get its turn. All right. So what am I talking about? Well, let's start out with, right now, you could see that Bitcoin, its current position, let's just say around 55 to 60,000, right? It's been since February 21st. This is when Bitcoin hit about 58,000. And then it formed a couple new highs, 62 and then 64. And now we're back down to about 56. We were at 58. So overall, you're talking about a 2-month span, about February 21st to now, May 8th. It's not the 21st. So it's really like a month and a half. So if we go all the way until the end of May, then we're talking about 2 months, right? And you can see it's just going sideways, right? Yes, there's been some volatility, some dips here. We know that the whales are really good at driving people out, right? Driving fears, driving like the long liquidated stuff out. Yes, I did. Cody, I appreciate that, but yeah, I'm going to cover that. All right. So yeah, so the whales do what they do, right? While the big guys keep buying. The big guys, I'm talking about institutions, the public trade companies, they're buying, they're laughing this off. They're laughing at us saying, hey, look at these retail folks that have no clue what they're doing. They're getting scared by this while we buy, right? That's what's happening. All right. Now let's go back. Let's go back in time. And this is something that I used to show all the time. But trust me, if you've seen this before, I'm going to show you some new data points that I haven't shown before. So going back all the way to 2013 and then going to 2020, our last cycle. 2017. So for some of you guys, you haven't seen this before. I got into Bitcoin around 2013, tail end 2013 into 2014. And that is when that's 4-year cycle ended. So 2013, Bitcoin went up as high as about $1,200. And then it went down 86%. So it ended up being like $160 or something like that. Dirt cheap. And I was mining Litecoin at the time. Litecoin was like $40. And it went all the way down to like $8 or $4. And then I'm like, okay, I'm out. And Litecoin even went lower than that. It went to like 90 cents at a time or 80 cents at a time. But that's how I got in. And I got scared out all the way until 2017. And you could see that right here, Bitcoin didn't hit that 1200 mark until January of 2017, right? So that, guess what? The last year of the 4-year cycle. That was right after the previous halving event, the one before the one that we just went through, right? And it took a long time. It took this long, almost 1,000 days. But guess what? Afterwards, that whole year, starting from January 1st, a lot of people didn't know, we started a year at 1,000, and even midway through, about, you know what? Actually, more than midway. Let's look at it here. So if I zoom in, by October 2017, Bitcoin was still at 5,000. So yes, it went from 1,000 to 5,000, but we know that from October to December, it went from 5,000 to 20,000. So it 4x'd within a very, very short amount of time. But during that time, guess what? You know, when you zoom out, it looks great. It's just like a parabolic rise, like infinitely going upwards. But if you zoom in, you'll realize that during that climb, there were many periods where Bitcoin stalled and went sideways for several months, including this right here. Look at it. From June 11, 2017, Bitcoin was at 3,000. Guess what? China banned Bitcoin, and Bitcoin went from 3,000 all the way down to 1,700, almost half. And guess what? It recovered. And from this period, July 11th, all the way to August, July to August, right? It pretty much went sideways. Nothing. And guess what? Afterwards, boom, you have a next leg up to 5,000. But guess what? You know, from this period, again, you had some volatility, but pretty much still going sideways. Kind of like our situation now, where it takes multiple months. So if you look at this, August, and then it goes all the way over here, it's October. So that's a couple of months, right? And this was in a smack middle of the bull run. 2017, the year where Bitcoin went to 20,000 for the first time. Before things got really crazy toward the end of the year, beginning and mid-year, Bitcoin did go up quite a bit. But then there were periods where it went sideways. And guess what happened during this period? A lot of the altcoins came up too, like Ethereum. Ethereum dominance started coming up in a big way. This is also around the time when Bitcoin dominance went down. So Bitcoin dominance went down. That's because they were going sideways for a very long time. And Ethereum dominance and all the other altcoin dominance went up because Bitcoin was stagnant. Does that sound familiar? That sounds exactly what's happening right now. Bitcoin is taking a sideways movement. It's just stalled out, basically consolidating, waiting for the next leg up. And guess what? While that's happening, altcoins are exploding. Look at Ethereum dominance. Ethereum dominance is going up once again. Altcoin dominance going up again, right? So we're seeing very, very similarities. You know what Mark Twain says? History doesn't repeat, but it does tend to rhyme. And we are rhyming hardcore. So what is my point? After these periods where Bitcoin just went sideways, especially towards the latter half of the year in 2017, that's when Bitcoin went up 400% within a few months. So that shows you how explosive things can be, right? And we're only May. We're not even June. We're not July. We're not in October yet. So this is fantastic. Because we are right on track. We're right on track. So now, going into what has happened the last 3 years, I don't need to remind you guys, but 20,000 all the way down to about 3,100. Guess what? 84% drop. Very similar to the 86% drop. We had a little bit of like a weirdness because we did go up to 14,000, came back down again. Really, it should have just been like a linear climb like this. But, you know, I drew these out. I drew these arrows out, I think, February of 2020, so it's been over a year. And I'm like, this is the projected way. If we are going to mimic the previous cycle, this is what Bitcoin's going to do. Obviously, last year, March, we had that Black Swan event, right? So this happened. Man, that was ugly. Bitcoin went down to 3,800 again. But now in hindsight, that was the biggest gift ever. How many of you guys would love to buy Bitcoin at 3,800? But at that time, it didn't seem like that. But that's why you got a dollar cost average and you buy the dips and you hold them, because those situations come like once in a while, let's say. It doesn't happen very often. And people that picked up here is more than 20x or no, 15x from there. But you can see, I drew these arrows. I'm like, hey, you know what? This is the path. And guess what? Bitcoin came back up really, really hard. Towards the end of 2020, it actually surpassed it. And then, look at now. 2021 has been absolutely fantastic for Bitcoin. Bitcoin literally went up 3x, 300% already, from 20,000 to 60,000. So we were way above this projection. And look at it, even going sideways right now, we still didn't go below this arrow. That's how fast things have gone for Bitcoin. So if you're wondering why Bitcoin's not moving for 2 months, well, just look at it this way. It's actually really, really far ahead of where it should be. And this is right on track. This is right on track. And you know what? What does right on track mean anyways? If this continues forward, and it keeps going the same path, just like 2017, Bitcoin is going to end up in 300,000 territory. 300,000 territory. Remember, I talked about how the very last few months, Bitcoin went up 4x, 400%, right? So right now, it seems like, that's silly. Bitcoin can't get to 300,000 from 55,000 or 56,000. How many X is that, right? That's 5x, 6x from here. Well, guess what? Last time, Bitcoin went up 4x within 3 months. It could certainly do 4x again. Seeing how much FOMO there is from institutional side and retail side, and I don't think we're anywhere close to retail, FOMO levels like 2017, right? So things will come back, and that's where my end of year projection is for Bitcoin. I think we're going to see about $300,000. So yeah. And what happens? What happens with altcoins if Bitcoin goes up to $300,000? One can only imagine. Some of these projections that I've made for like Chainlink and Binance Coin and even Ethereum, Polkadot, Cardano, right? I've projected 10x, 15x, 20x, and that's because I think Bitcoin could do a 10x before end of the year. Obviously, we're a little bit higher now, so maybe not a 10x, maybe a 5x or a 6x. But if Bitcoin is going to do 5 or 6x, then these big caps and the rest of the altcoin markets is going to do at least that. I think it's going to be more, probably twice, probably like 2x more than Bitcoin. But yeah, this is why, for those of you guys that are new in the space, you're thinking, Bitcoin's boring. Why is it not moving? Is it topped out yet? No, none of those things. You just have to go back in history and realize that, first of all, we're ahead of the game for 2021. And second of all, this is very, very, very similar to the previous cycle. It may look like it's just, parabolically going upwards, but there's been many periods within that rise where Bitcoin did stall out for a month, 2 months. And let's not forget the periods where, like this, where there was like 4, 5 months where Bitcoin didn't move, right? But when it's ready to move, it will. And when it does, it's going to move up tremendously and lead us to the promised land, to life-changing wealth, or wife-changing wealth, as I always say. All right, so that's where I see Bitcoin is going. Now, before I get into Q&A, there is two very important pieces of news I want to share. Number one is Vechain. You guys know I love Vechain. Vechain is on fire right now, okay? And I wish it would continue on because it is climbing up. It's that number 14, up 14%. Let's see if it can keep going. It's having a hard time breaking Ethereum Classic because Ethereum Classic is pumping up to the moon right now. But I want to see Vechain climb to within top 10. I've always said Vechain top 10. And what's the reason for today's pump? Well, one of my Patreon members pointed this out to me, that yes, there was national coverage within China. So there's an English language state-run business channel, CGTN, that created a short expository video on blockchain's growth post-COVID-19. And guess what? They focused at Vechain. Vechain's progress in developing business solutions, explaining how technology can be applied to food safety and infection control industry. And yes, they interviewed many people from within the company. Guess what? This is what I've always said about Vechain. They have deep, deep, deep ties within China. First of all, trust me, if this is a state-run business channel, they vetted Vechain. Okay, they're not just going to allow someone to talk about a project that wasn't vetted already. Second of all, Vechain already has ties with some of the biggest state-run businesses or companies in China. So you know they have that connection already. And even outside of that, they have some of the biggest partnerships in the blockchain space. This is why I've always argued Vechain is the most undervalued altcoin out there by far. It's not even close. They should be above Ethereum. I've always said that. If you look at how much usage, how much partnerships, the size of the partners, I mean, they're leaps and bounds above everyone else. But I think they've been held back because they're in China. Citizens in China are prohibited from buying crypto at this point. But when they do open up, and they're like, okay, citizens, you can buy Chinese-based crypto companies. Guess who they're going to point to? Companies like Vechain. And you're going to have trillions of dollars coming into blockchain companies like Vechain. And think about it then, right? So I'm glad to see that they got some coverage. They're pumping up a little bit. You know, I always get asked, where can Vechain go? I think it could go much, much higher. So this is definitely very, very positive for them. All right. The next one is, and I think you guys asked about it, and that's Flexa. People already knew about this. People asked me. I'm like, it's a rumor. I don't know. But you know what, Flexa? They're going to add on Dogecoin. Flexa is an app. It's a payments app. And they have deep ties with Gemini. And we know Gemini just added Dogecoin. So people are very smart. They put one and one and one in together. And guess what? Flexa is adding Dogecoin. So this is going to bring a lot more usage. People that still argue Dogecoin is crap and has no usage. Well, Flexa will now allow Dogecoin payments. And guess what? AMP is also exploding because of this news. Right? So this is also good. I covered AMP many months ago. So this is very, very promising. Flexa is very promising. I'm waiting for the pandemic to die down. People will go out and start spending and utilize the Flexa app. Well, this is fantastic news. This is fantastic news for them. All right, that's pretty much it. I'm going to turn back to you guys for Q&A. But before I do that, I do want to give a shout out to one of my Patreon members who's a sport therapist of the Chelsea Football Club. And they sent me this. Look at this. Yeah, look at how nice this is. Except, you know, European sizes is different from American sizes. So, unfortunately, I couldn't wear this because it would be embarrassment. maybe 10 years ago. And of course, they're George too. So, that's pretty nice. Just shout out to Chelsea Football Club. And they are in a tournament right now. And they're doing very, very well. So, just want to give a shout out to Marcelo. And I'll turn to you guys for a Q&A. Chelsea. Oh man, that's good stuff. Good stuff indeed. All right, Cody, I answer your question. Orion Protocol, man, it's a big super chat. Target $10. Not Origin Protocol. I'm sorry, not Orion. $10, 8x from here, maybe. It maybe if they get really hot, they onboard some new NFT celebrities. Could be. I mean, they're transitioning entirely to NFTs, so it could. Vet to 30 cents. Oh yeah, that's easy. Easy. This month, it could happen tomorrow. You know, look at some of these crazy pumps that's been going on. It seems like there's like a rotation, right? Like Ethereum Classic and EOS pumped 40, 50%. Ethereum Classic at 300% in 7 days. It makes no sense. And I don't care what ETC guys say. Oh, no, you don't know what you're talking about. It should go up. No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't go up 300% within a week. But you know what? They're being pumped. So if Vechain gets that pump, it could be 30 cents like tomorrow. And I'm hoping it does because I love Vechain. Mochi Market, MoMA. They're not doing too good. They're not doing too good. They're a DAO maker. I don't even know what that is. I don't even know what their website is. I think I'm off the EOS bandwagon. I don't care how much it pumps, but when Dan Larimer leaves, that means that it's a finished project, meaning one that he can't fix, and he just doesn't want to even deal with it. That's his history. He leaves projects when he feels like they can't be fixed, and he left EOS. So yeah, a funny thing is today I was on Round the Blockchain, right, and I was glad to hear everyone's calling EOS EOS because I've always said EOS, and people have told me no, it's pronounced EOS. But I'm like, it's EOS, EOS. It should be EOS. I'm not the best at pronouncing things, but people are like, no, it's EOS, EOS. But everyone today on Around the Blockchain said EOS too, so made me feel a little better. Hey, George, I made a mistake today, overtraded. Now I'm stuck in XLM. What should you do? XLM is okay. You could use it to transfer between exchanges really cheaply. XLM tends to pump whenever XRP pumps, so wait for that. But I mean, XLM doesn't have much going on right now. Farming on Polygon. I mean, it seems like it. I mean, they're a full-fledged layer 2, but layer 2 just means it's just really its own chain. So there are a lot of things coming out like AMMs, like farming and stuff like that. I'm not familiar with that project, but it makes sense. Polygon is hot right now. It pumped up quite a bit. I don't know if it can sustain because it did pump up quite a bit. But yeah, a lot of these DeFi projects definitely coming. Franco, it's not the only adult NFT play, but yeah, I'm not gonna talk about it. How do you feel about staking on exchanges instead of BlockFi? Well, you can do so, but they're all pretty much the same premise. They put it somewhere and then they lend it out. But the thing is with BlockFi is at least you have that reputation. You have big backers, and you know that they're using custody service that have insurance. Where some of these other guys, you don't know. But ultimately, it comes down to your trust level and your the interest that you make, right? So it's just you have to decide. Like for example, like Gemini themselves have Gemini Earn, so it's kind of interesting. And Winklevoss is invested in BlockFi, so I'm like, why don't they just use BlockFi, right? It's just like it's weird how it's like that. So I don't know. UTU. Tokenizing trust, anonymous ratings. Yeah, this is just like that other play. Shoot. There's a project that starts with R that's in this. Revain. I don't think anyone cares, honestly. It's not a project that people really care about, like reviews, decentralized reviews. TrueFi. I think so. It hasn't moved yet. I still think they have potential. I think they need to like spice things up. I think they have a really good model in terms of voting for uncollateralized loans, but I think they need to spice things up. Check out Trias, cloud storage on a blockchain. Yes. So many people are trying to shield Trias. I have no idea why. I have looked at it. It looks okay, but it's just really early. There's no need to be shilling it this much. There's way too many people shilling it, and I'm wondering why. Wanchain is into DeFi and atomic swaps, and they have their own DEX. They have their own lending program, their staking program. They kind of done it all, but they have not reclaimed their previous high yet, which was at $10 before. So they're quite far away from there. But they have made some good partnerships too. I think Wanchain is a good one. Bab, I'm not a fan of Bab. I forgot what they were. Charity or something like that. I've looked at it many times. I don't like it. Just because it goes up 36% does not mean you should pay attention to it. Monero to 510, I don't know. I don't follow privacy coins. I'm not a fan of them. Got liquidated on a BTC leverage long today. Lost 0.1 BTC in a few hours. Ouch. Should have listened. Yes. I'm telling you guys. It seems like it's easy money. You're like, you know, Bitcoin's, you know, is at a low point. It's going to go up. You know, let's just put in like 10x here or 5x there or 20x here. You know, just it's not worth it. It's not worth it. You put it in any altcoin or Bitcoin, it goes down. You wait a day, it comes back up. There's no worries, no stress. You could go to sleep, you know, normally. When you're doing a 10x, 20x, 100x leverage trade, trust me, every single second you're on your phone watching it. It's just so much stress. It's not worth it. So Max, I'm sorry to hear it. I hope you stop doing it. Is BDC the next ETC? Probably not. People are just following ETC because of probably Robinhood and because of Ethereum, because they see it as a cheaper alternative to Ethereum. EOS, I don't like it. The video streaming, I don't even know. You know, they were hyping up that Mr. Beast invested. I'm not even sure if he really invested. It just seemed like they were using him, but it has not done anything. No. This is the video streaming one, right? Yeah. They just don't have any traction at this point. Is circuit supply too high for XRP to hit 10 or 100? Well, kind of. Well, the good thing about XRP is they do have a set supply. So that's capped at 100 billion. So right now they're at 45 billion. 55 billion is controlled by Ripple. This is why people don't like Ripple. Because they control more than 50% of the circulating supply of the total supply. But can it go to $10? That's roughly what, 8x, 7x? You know, that would give XRP what, 450, 500 billion in market cap. Can it happen? Yeah, it could happen. Ethereum is at 400, so it could happen. To go $10 or $100, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I like Bake. I like Bake quite a lot. You know, I know they got pumped up. They came down, but I put some money into Bake, a dollar cost average. I actually had Bake a while ago, a much lower price, but I think they transformed themselves into a premier NFT marketplace on Binance Smart Chain. So I like it. I like it. Harmony and Cardano. Wow, Mo. $100. Thoughts on Harmony? You know, quite honestly, I think they kind of shot themselves in the foot because of that April Fool's joke, and people didn't take it as a joke. But you know what? Harmony is a really good project. I talked with Steven. I think he's a very smart guy. He's accomplished a lot. They have a very fast chain. One could argue it's ETH 2.0 already. And, you know, they have some promising DeFi projects on there already. So it's just a matter of waiting right now. Waiting for them to get their turn again, right? I think they're going to do very well in the future. If you had to put Scott asked, if you had to put your entire net worth of BTC or ETH, one or the other, no splitting for 6 months, and had to sell, which one would you take? I would go, if I couldn't sell at all, I would still go with BTC. These 6 months is a very long time. Who knows what happens in 6 months? Who knows if everything has, all dApps have moved off Ethereum and on to Binance Smart Chain, or who knows, Cardano is finally done. You know, like Ethereum has competition. Bitcoin does not. It does not. Right now, it seems like, yeah, all the altcoins are moving very, very fast. But I just got done saying, you know, things can flip really fast too. Just like 2017, it could happen in 2021 too. So I would go with Bitcoin if I could not withdraw. Why are people sleeping on H-bar? It's faster in BTC and ETH and cheaper. So are like a million other projects. It doesn't mean anything. You gotta look at their structure. Their structure is different. They're not built the same way. They're not open source. So they do have a lot of partnership, but the way they operate is very, very different than some of these other projects. BNB, Cake, Bake, Bunny are pulling back a bit. Pancake Bunny has 7 billion TVL, which is the same as Uniswap. Thoughts on their low cap? Yeah, but Uniswap competes with Pancake Swap, not Pancake Bunny. Bunny is just like a yield aggregator, so it's a little bit different. I don't even know of like a big yield aggregator for Uniswap. But yeah, they pulled back, but you know what? What does that mean? That means it's a good buying opportunity because they're not going to go away anytime soon. I'll tell you that. Please help me. I bought Doge 68 cents. Should I take a loss? No, why would you? Why would you? Just hold it. Just hold it. You know, unlike being liquidated, you hold it and comes back and you're fine. Why would you take a loss? Sand, next Minecraft with NFT. Sand is very similar to Decentraland. And yes, it's very similar to Minecraft in some sorts. Like Roblox, Minecraft, something like that. Yeah, I do like them. And they're under Animoca brands, which I think they're doing very well. So I like them. I like them. I'm quite honestly surprised that they haven't moved more. You know, I thought they would catch up to Decentraland a bit more, but they really haven't. Decentraland is still like 8x higher than they are. Ramp. I'm actually going to do something with Ramp in the future. They actually look pretty promising. So stay tuned for that. Where to buy VET. You can buy VET a lot of places. Binance.us. You can buy it Voyager. So there's a few places to buy it. And you utilize my affiliate link in the description. You think Doge will hit $1? Yeah, I just created a video. I think it's going to happen. Sooner or later, it's going to happen. Is it going to happen before Saturday? I don't know. Is it going to happen after Saturday? I don't know. I think so. It's going to happen. And I think it's going to stay. I still think too many people are hating it for no reason. Elrond, what's your favorite altcoin? I don't know. Vechain's up there. Vechain, Binance Coin, you know, they're up there. I like Solana. I like Uniswap. I like Chainlink. You know, these guys have been in my portfolio for a long time. Other than Solana. Solana, not a long time, but I still do like them quite a bit. And there's several other ones. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. Yeah, I don't like Mandela Exchange. They're just like kind of a mini copy of Binance, but I don't like them. I don't like them. I like KuCoin much better. Dent kind of lost its traction. I mean, I was really surprised. It was one of those I didn't like, and then I looked into them. They looked like they were doing all the right things, and now they just kind of like died. Not died. Like they just lost all traction. I don't know why. They could be coming back. Zero Exchange, I checked it out before. It's okay. It's okay. How do you feel about a China ban? I don't know what you mean by that. Cake and Telcoin. You know, Telcoin is one that I'm really surprised by. It's kind of like Dent back in the day where it just kept going and going and going and wouldn't stop. But it will. Every single hot project always stops. And Telcoin looks like they have overreached a little bit. But they're in the remittance market. They've been doing a lot of remittance stuff, opening more like, you know, countries and stuff like that. So they seem to be okay. But I'm a little worried that they've overreached a little bit. I have not tried Gold Label. I don't know what's after Blue Label. I remember taking a cruise before, and there's like some Royal Scottish or whatever kind of like what, there was some crazy one that was like $3 a bottle. I don't even know what it was. Do you think LTO is undervalued? Yeah, they're supposed to be the biggest blockchain in Europe. You know, they have a hybrid and public, you know, setup. They're GDPR compliant. Rick is a lawyer. He knows what he's doing. So I think they're undervalued. I'm trying to get them. If you guys are connected, you know, I shot Rick an email. Trying to get them to sponsor the Vegas party too, because I think they would be a fantastic sponsor. They would be able to, you know, talk about LTO some more and showcase it. So in case Rick or LTO, you're watching, reply to my email. DocsMax says, hey George, is BTC just consolidating right now? Yeah. After the stream rewind, I just got done talking about how this is exactly like 2017, exactly what happened many months early on in the year where Bitcoin just went sideways, didn't move until the latter half where it did. We got to realize that Bitcoin has gone up like 3x since the beginning of the year. So it taking a breather is perfectly normal, and selling at 50,000 plus, there should be no one complaining about that. I don't think people realize the gravity of Bitcoin at 50,000 plus. People just assumed, okay, it's been there. Those of us that's been in it for years, I mean, it's just crazy to think about that. It was crazy to think that Bitcoin could ever break 20,000, and now we're 3 times higher than that. It's just, it's nuts. It's nuts. So Bitcoin being above 50,000, no complaints. No complaints by me. And plus, while we're waiting, altcoins are doing just fine, right? In case you haven't noticed. If you've been diversified, like I've been saying, 50-25-25 rule. In Patreon recently, I talked about maybe going up a little bit more on the big caps since they have been so strong against volatility, and they're moving really good. That's okay too. But if you're being diversified, you're having a good strategy. You're also profit taking out your initial investment for those of you guys that are new, right? And possibly taking some on the way up. You're set. You're golden. You're golden. All right. That is it. That is it. How high can Vet go? It could go to the moon and Mars and Pluto. It's funny that Pluto is no longer a planet. When I was raised, Pluto was a planet, and now I'm told it's not a planet. How things have changed over the years. All right, so that is it. How high could Bitcoin go? Well, it could go very, very high. If we're mimicking 2017, you know, projection is 300,000 plus, about 330,000 by the end of the year. And you know what? It could definitely happen. It definitely happened. So if you didn't watch the beginning part of this video, do so. And I think you'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy it. So that is it, guys. I apologize for messing up the name, Chelsea Football Club. So thank you, Marcel, for sending me this, and the club. I wish you guys good luck. All right, that's it. So stay tuned. Smash a like. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Stay tuned tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right, guys. Have a good one.